Welcome to the Richmond Film Network podcast, your all-access pass to the world of independent cinema. Each week, we go beyond the credits and sit down with the creatives who turn vision into reality. Tune in weekly to find out who's on the RFN pod.
Hello and welcome to the Richmond Film Network podcast. I am your host, Lisa Giles, and here with me today is director Julian Banks for the film The KKKennel, which is screening at RFN Indie Fest on Saturday, August the 9th. Welcome to the podcast, Julian.
Thank you for having me.
So, Julian, tell me a little bit about yourself and your journey into filmmaking.
Well, I went to VCU. I studied cinema and English, and I've been making films since I've been making like short stuff since I was in high school. I didn't really start making short films until I got to college, but I've been doing it every year since I was in college. So,
well, you've come a long way in such a short period of time to have not been doing it for very long. And I love that you mentioned that you studied English as well, which maybe is the reason that the writing is so clever as well. And you're the writer on the film. So tell me about the story and how you came up with the story.
It's actually like something I had been working on since I was a freshman. I made the movie my second semester of my senior year, so like this past January and February. And I mean, the idea of it was like inspired by Macbeth a little bit. You know how in Macbeth, the opening scene of the two main characters, like after they like complete like a certain like battle or something, and they go back to the king. This was supposed to be like that mission they did, but in like a contemporary setting. So it was a little bit like a proof of concept for me, and that's what was the main way I came up with the story.
Two young criminals attempt to pick up money for their boss, but their night takes a turn when their debtors refuse to pay. That's your log line.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the title, because when you first submitted it, it was submitted, and actually still is, submitted as The Kennel. And then I circled back and I asked you, is it The Kennel or is it The KKKennel? So naturally, the title provokes reaction.
Yeah.
Were you hesitant to go with the more provocative title, or was it a title that you just thought of later?
Well, when I first came up with the project, it was always just The Kennel. But I know when I started editing it and I did that thing where the title moves out, I was like, this is kind of cool. And then the person that made the poster, I asked them to put the extra K's on it because I thought it would be more stylistic. And then that's how I came up with that.
Okay, more stylistic. And in the film, we have some racial tensions.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever worry that title might overshadow the story, or do you feel like it's risky?
Not too much, because I feel like since the whole movie kind of revolves around like racial tensions, I feel like it made sense. Kind of like in the same vein as like the Black Klansman, where they have the extra K's and they even have like Klansman in the name. I think it works.
So how did you want to build tension in a way that didn't just feel like another crime gone wrong short?
Well, I think for me, like I think the big like reveal is that he walks into a room full of white supremacists, which to me would be pretty unexpected to an audience, because I feel like you've seen like a lot of things where it's like, oh, like maybe someone's a little bit too violent, or like they just are dimwits and like the crime doesn't go how they want. But I feel like with this one, it's like more based in like the terms of like the society he lives in instead of like his own shortcomings, which I think is pretty interesting to me.
Yeah, the conflict isn't with law enforcement. It's with people who owe them money. So what interested you about flipping that usual power dynamic in that way?
Well, a big thing with me is like in my films, I kind of want to like highlight Black voices in general. And a big way I like to do that is by just flipping like the regular scripts you see. Like I feel like a lot of movies highlight Black trauma without much of like a big resolve to it. But I feel like here he had the power in this situation for a majority of the movie. and that's kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to show that, like, Black people don't just have to be victims in movies; they can also be the heroes.
And speaking of your hero, Jai Demand, who is becoming a staple in local indie film. Let's see, James Trani, Nathan Hoffer. Those are three people that I've noticed right off the bat that I've seen pretty routinely in local independent film. How did you go about casting them? Did you know that that's who you wanted for those roles, or did you go through a casting process?
So Jai, I've known him for quite a while because I had cast him in one of his first movies in Richmond. It was like a few years ago for my VCU summer film, and ever since then I've been having him in my movies. So I knew him for like that main character of Nick. He was gonna be the guy. For Nathan, he had been in one of my earlier movies too, but he wasn't exactly like the first person I thought of. But for everyone else except for the other criminal, because the other criminal was my roommate, and everybody else went through a casting process.
Your film was made for $1,800.
Yeah.
How did you approach location, lighting, sound, all of those things needed within that budget?
So first off with sound, I have my own equipment, like my own boom, sound recorder, so we used that. We just had someone on crew for it. And then for lighting, I actually reached out to the cinema department because I was still a student at the time. So if you know Kevin Gallagher, he helped out a lot with that. He got us a generator for like a good discount, and he let us borrow a bunch of the lights that they own. And then the location, that's a cinema alumni's house that I'm still friends with that we used. And everything else, that was just their neighborhood and stuff.
Was this guerrilla style filmmaking, or was the neighborhood in on the shoot? So every
Yeah, they kind of had to be because we had a generator outside, and then we had like a really big, I forget the name of the lights, but it was like a lot of stuff outside, and we were also shooting with the guns outside. So we had to let them know that, like, yeah, we're gonna be shooting with prop guns and like lights and stuff, and it went fine.
Were there any scenes that were particularly difficult to pull off, either logistically or emotionally, or just getting the right tone?
Nothing was too hard. Like, I mean, I think there were some things I was worried about. Like, there's a shot where you see like the blood splatter hit the flag. I was worried about that because we can only do it one time, but it looked really good. I mean, the only hard part was that it was just really cold when we shot, and you could feel it, but that was about it.
Did anything happen during the production that unexpectedly elevated the story or the visuals?
Not really, because we did a lot of planning beforehand, so like we kind of knew what it was gonna be like. The only thing that really happened that was unexpected was just that we had actors drop out on specific days, so we had to like condense a lot of stuff into one day, but it didn't really change my vision at all.
So you had mentioned earlier that this was supposed to be a proof of concept. Is there any chance of it getting expanded into a longer feature?
I hope so one day. I'm doing my festival run now, so this is the first one we got into. So I'm hoping it picks up some more recognition, so I can do like another fundraiser for it.
This is a student short, but the tone is confident and mature. What were you most focused on conveying as a filmmaker with this project?
I just want to change the dynamics of how Black people are viewed in cinema. And so I feel like if with this one, if people were to see it, I want them to know that I'm very confident about me and my culture, like what they're capable of. And I'm not afraid to like show that light, even if it's in a bit of a controversial way.
Do you have any filmmakers that you admire or may have influenced your style?
Well, I think in terms of this one, the biggest influences were the three big ones were Jordan Peele, Tarantino, and the Coen brothers. But in terms of my broader style, I wouldn't really say I have a singular like group of filmmakers that really influence everything I do. It kind of depends on the film.
Tell me about the posters behind you. Are those films?
Yeah, it's like you got Challengers, Deadpool 2, and then two Vinyls. Those are some rap albums.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are those some of your favorites, Challengers and Deadpool?
Yeah.
Okay. Your screening at Indie Fest on August 9th will be your world premiere.
Mm.
Uh, how does that feel to be sharing it for the first time in front of a public audience, especially in Richmond, the Richmond indie scene?
I'm excited. I can't wait to see like how people react to it. I hope they like it.
Are you hoping for any specific reaction?
Well, I think the main thing is I hope people think the jokes I wrote are funny. That's always something I'm usually worried about.
So when I was rewatching it in preparation for this talk, because I saw it early on when you first submitted it, and then just rewatched it again. And one of the things that I caught that I thought was so clever, which was the music that's playing. It's making me laugh thinking about it. But the music that's playing behind the couple underneath the Confederate flag. Are you? Are
Yeah, I
you?
know some.
So tell me about that choice of the music, because I think it's very specific to me as a viewer. It was very specific and meaningful and funny. When I noticed it, it made me chuckle.
Yeah, so in the script it just says when I'm doing my scene introduction it says there's country music playing. So I just found like some royalty free music. That was the only piece of music that I had to pay for that I didn't make myself.
And it's not just any country music, but it's banjo music. So it's very specific, which again made me chuckle. So I thought that was a fun choice that you made there.
Thank you.
Uh, how would you describe the local creative community here in Richmond? You're VCU alum, VCU Cinema alum. You're from Newport News. How would you describe the independent film community?
Well, to be honest, I haven't really been a part of a lot of professional sets, but I have been a part of like sets with like Andrew and Mark and like other people that went to VCU.
Andrew Chi Wynn and Mark
Yeah.
Bearcat.
And then also like my own friends, like I'm always helping them. I think it's really fun. I'm really like proud to like have come up with such like creative people.
What's one thing that you learned, especially you say that you haven't been at this for very long? So, specifically in making this film, what's one thing that you learned from making this film that you'll take with you to your next project?
Um, I think to give trust to other crew members. Like I feel like sometimes I get a little control heavy, but I feel like with this one I really learned that like if you give people in other creative roles a task, um they'll be able to figure it out. Like especially with like the blood splatter idea. That was something that never crossed my mind because I didn't think it would be possible. But that the art department had asked me like wouldn't it be cool if we did do a blood splatter? And with the budget we gave them, they somehow figured out how to do it and I was like really like surprised. But I thought it was so cool that they did that. It was Bryce Wall and Owen Fleet that figured all that out and it was just so really cool to me.
So, do you feel like maybe that control is because that's how you've always done it, or because this is your baby and it's hard to give the baby away, or where do you think that comes from? Because I hear a lot of independent filmmakers say that.
Well, I think in my experiences it just comes from like people not exactly knowing like what you want, because sometimes it's kind of hard to explain. You have to be really specific when you're working with new people a lot, and I think that's what I run into sometimes. And to a degree I feel like I kind of like just have to be like on top of everything when like a lot of times that isn't the case, especially with this one since we were all kind of like we had worked together for quite a while at this point. And it's not that it was really my baby, it's just that like I kind of want to there's a lot of there was money that wasn't mine in it for one of the first times, and I just was really trying to make sure this was like a good a good movie for the people that invested into it.
So, what kind of stories do you feel you might tell in the future, maybe your next project?
Well, I always want to have, black main characters or people of color in a lot of roles. But I want to get into horror. I know horror was my first one that I made. It was a silent horror film when I was a freshman, and I want to get back to those roots.
Okay. If someone gave you $50,000 to either expand this film, the KKKennel, or make something new, what would you do?
I would expand the KKKennel.
Okay. Okay. What is the best piece of advice that you've ever gotten from a mentor in film or anyone?
Um, I think the best one is to, I guess this was for a separate film, but I was showing off an edit, and the professor was telling me I need to let the movie breathe instead of letting it move so fast.
Mm,
And I think that was something that I've been using like ever since.
okay, that's good advice. Tell me about some of the people that you worked with, some of the people that you gave that control over to. The music is very specific and just brands this film. Was that your music?
Yeah, so the score, like that orchestral score was me, and then the song at the end is me and my friends, Bo Donner and Ian Claville. It's a song we made. And yeah, I made all of that except for like, the banjo music that wasn't me.
That's nice. Very well done. Very fitting to the tone and to the pacing and to the energy of the film. So
Thank you.
yeah, and that's the way that you leave that. I can see it screening, and I can see the impact already that it's going to have on the audience when the credits roll. Yeah, very impactful.
Thank you.
What about some of your other team members?
Sophie Edwards was the gaffer. She's been doing a lot of my films. She's really, really good. I had Cheyenne as the DP. Um, she's really talented as well. I'm the type of director that I kind of already have like a lot of the shots planned out, rather than giving like the DP like the script and saying like, oh, make the shot list. Like I kind of already know what I want to look like, and she was very supportive in making those shots happen. Um, and her and Sophie working together to create the lighting for the world. It was just really cool to see. Um, and then also art department is probably one of my favorites because it was Bryce Wall and Owen Fleet. They did like the costumes, the props, all the all like the effects, like the blood splatter, the little dust you see at the bullet shot. And I know my producer Fabi, they were the best. They did so much that I didn't even expect them to do. That was really very helpful. Like they made making this movie a lot easier than past movies have been. So I'm really proud of
So,
the whole team. What you saying?
how so?
I mean, they were just very on top of things, like logistical wise, like setting up the fundraiser, giving me different options for the fundraiser, keeping up with cast, uh, budgeting stuff. It was just all very fun. Helping with catering. They did a lot.
Well, I've seen their name on other projects,
Mhm.
so it was nice seeing it again on this
Yeah.
one. Uh, so complete this sentence. Student films matter because
Student films matter because they're the biggest learning experiences for young filmmakers.
good one. Any other information that you need to get out to the public about this film or anything that we're missing?
It was just your regular shoot, your regular mishaps. A lot of fun making it. I'm glad to get out. It's about to be shown to the world.
Okay. Well, Julian, tell our viewers how they can keep up with you and follow along on the progress of the KK Kennel.
You can follow the page at the Kennel, and you can also follow my Instagram at Julian.Banks with 2 S's.
Okay. Well, Julian, thank you so much again for being with us, and I look forward to meeting you in person on August the 9th for the festival.
Thank you.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Richmond Film Network podcast. Thanks to our guest and to you, our listeners, for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share. Tune in next week to see who's on the RFN pod. Until then, keep the cameras rolling.